We're getting started a little bit early, and what we'll do is that Bobby will get things started. I mean, I'll get things started. Bobby will show up, and then when I leave, I'll just kind of leave it running and have Bobby just kind of take you up until live. I can only stay for. I can only stay until through. This is fine because I have my own stuff I have to kind of redo anyway. I gotta remember, I gotta redo my golf before that locks, like before it was probably, and then we'll do. I'll definitely redo that later. But we have an interesting slate here in the NBA with some very viable points of value, right? At least for now, with respect to the San Antonio situation. And again, I just want to just kind of just relax because I want to, the Miami Heat situation is always worth waiting for, whether Hero plays or not. Because if Hero plays, once again, you're going to have Kendrick Nunn, who you're going to want to get in. And I made the mistake last time of not taking advantage of that, just getting a little busy with respect to that. So I'm just kind of wait as long as I possibly can. So what we'll do is we'll also just keep an eye on what the times of these games are as well. Hey, what's going on? Hey, sort of a connection.
Yeah, I've got it hardwired in. I'm good to go, at least for now, for tonight. But yeah, so,
you said 6. I told my wife 7, and then
no, my
advantage that I can't extra.
I totally understand. So we're on a little early. So I told the people we're going on now, and telling them in Discord right now, and we got some time, so we actually don't have to worry too much. We have some projections to update, and it's going to be an interesting slate.
Yeah, so I didn't see any. Again, the news that's pending. Again, you're usually sharp about that. You always say you gotta what you're waiting for and what you don't know what you're waiting for. And definitely want to. I'd like to wait. Well, I'd like to know what's going on in Miami and Toronto, obviously. I just saw. Well, I don't know if this came across, but Bo and Gordon to be game time decisions. That's not very helpful.
Yeah, that's really not helpful at all. It's annoying. We're going to have one of those days, but we do have some great value to start with, so maybe it doesn't become this. I don't know. It's still going to be great value, especially with this new Detroit news. I think we're going to be. The thing for me now is I think Detroit. I may end up with more Detroit players on some lineups than I do Spurs.
Now I'm going to pretend that I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that Detroit news is pretty. It's pretty.
Jeremy Grant.
Oh, he's out.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So we're back to wait. We can feel good. We got one guy we know we can play.
And that's why we get Josh Jackson at 80% ownership.
I mean, who else is going to do anything at all against a team that's going to let you do things like? I mean, okay, so your other, I mean, Demboya is going to play 1 million minutes.
Saddiq Bey is going to play 1 million minutes.
Saddiq Bey is going to play a bunch of minutes. Do you know that Saddiq Bey? It was probably wrong but he won Eastern Conference Player of the Week last week. That's shocking, kind of.
Meanwhile, they gave Sabeel, whatever, Saban Lee the coaching ball after the last game.
Oh, really? Yeah, same for me. I mean, we're playing these guys. Like, it's a great matchup. They might get crushed, but that doesn't matter for at least like 2 of them.
As a matter of fact, I actually did have the Detroit guy out of my projections. Wow, better than I thought.
Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, you know who's showing up as a value? I knew about this guy. I can't imagine why Jeremy Grant would help this, but
Well, Josh Jackson's a great value no matter what.
Isaiah Stewart.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they can. Yeah, he's versatile-ish. I mean, like he is for a big guy.
They're gonna get run out of the gym, aren't they?
Feels like it. Yeah, I mean, but then again, these guys, somebody gets crazy hot again, like from the outside, they're going to shoot threes. They've got guys who are like between Bay and Ellington and Svi. I mean, they're all decent 3-point shooters. So that's where I'm at right now. I prioritizing more of those guys, all that stuff.
Where are you with San Antonio right now?
I've started splitting up like two on lineups on DraftKings, and on FanDuel so far, I don't mind playing a few of those guys together, but I've sort of had the same idea. Try to play two of them. I don't know that it's as like they could get. I mean, look, they're in a much better situation because they're playing OKC, but I mean, they're a half a point underdog. That's pretty crazy to lose your five.
Let me put it another way. I think that it's probably very responsible to hold off on any decisions until we know the starting lineup for San Antonio, right?
I think that's probably a good idea, but I don't know. Like somebody's gonna. No, I think people are gonna get there from there. It's just a question of it's a pretty big slate. Where do we? How many guys do you think all get there? I guess even if they all get there, is that enough to win a tournament? There's just a lot of other good players.
Well, I'll tell you what's really interesting is that normally when you have all these value dudes, it's to get all the studs in, and all this is sitting tonight.
Right. I know it's kind of a little bit weird that way. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, who are we? Like, you could legitimately argue for a lot of these guys on San Antonio. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little bit of LaMarcus Aldridge for sure. He's going to be the low-owned one. So if I pair him even with two of these other ones, Murray, Mills, Walker, however you want to do it, and then if you want to run it back with Maladon or probably Maladon would be the most, or Shea on FanDuel. That makes a lot of sense to me as well. And even Darius Baisley, I think, makes some sense too tonight. Tyler Hero's out and Goran Dragic is in, which is kind of cool because I think that means we can sort of just ignore the situation, right?
Yeah. I think that's a fair assessment.
I totally think it is. I don't think there's any other options.
So I want to bring up a guy who you yelled at me about, but I think it's the same situation. But Tony Snell at 3K. He played 33 minutes last game, and he was not he actually got 5 rebounds, 2 blocks, and assists for 20 fantasy points.
Yeah, I love those 2 blocks out in there. Look, he's going to play minutes. They showed that, but you've also got Doumbouya. Why wouldn't you just play Doumbouya?
Different team?
He's on Detroit, but he's 3,100 also, same, basically position stuff.
Right.
And his thing is like, at least we haven't seen him fail in minutes because he hasn't really played them, but he should play a ton tonight. Maybe not. I mean, maybe you could argue that he's a better play. Like, I can never understand the like, it's just so hard for Tony Snell to really like do things to really get there. But like, that's fine. He's going to be popular. He's 3K. I might just prefer taking the devil we don't know as well.
I guess. I also, by the way, I do think that that game that Tony Snell, where he had like 36 minutes and 0 fantasy points or something like that, I actually feel as though that one game keeps his projections lower than they should be.
I don't think it's the one game cheats. I think it's watching him start for like 3 years and never having a game, like literally having so many single-digit fantasy games. It was just. I hear you though. I mean, look, there's other stuff though. I mean, and we've got some time to figure it out. But who are you saving with by the time you get to Snell? Like, also, like, are you playing Snell over potentially Trey Lyles, who at least can do things offensively, and his role is unknown in that situation. If there's a chance, like even with Aldridge, that he ends up getting 28 minutes, and if he plays like 20 minutes with how shorthanded they are from actual offensive weapons versus Snell, whose team is fully together. Did we get Reddish out? We did. Yeah, I'm sorry, my fault. I didn't have him officially out, but now I re-clicked and he is. I do have him out.
Did Detroit? You keep mentioning speed. Detroit and Martyrs.
No, I'm looking at who I would project.
Okay.
And I'm not saying it has to be Demboya. I'm just saying that is another minimum cost guy. Then you've got the Trey Lyles thing, and also what point do you need to keep saving? If you're going to play Patty Mills, Lonnie Walker, Saben Lee, who are you saving up for then? You could play.
Well, what you're doing is you're saving up to overpay for guys like Levine, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. But even still, do you need to go that far with it and play Tony Snell to get Levine instead of Capella and Josh Hart or something? Yeah,
well,
actually, it's a great.
That's
right there. Josh Hart's an awesome player.
Is he?
Josh Hart is like the most. Have you ever watched them? This guy, man. I don't know why they waited this long, but maybe the fact that they're playing well now and he's getting tons of minutes again. That's a good sign for him. Listen, he's had 10, 9, 6, and 9 rebounds the last 4 games. In his last 9 games, he has 4 games over 40 and 1 over 50. He's 4,900, and over that period, he's averaging 33 fantasy points per game, and his minutes are increasing against a really bad defense in a game that could be a blowout, that he will get some blowout run. Not necessarily all of it, but he'll get some. That's my argument for him. They're definitely favoring him more lately over Bledsoe. And he plays multiple positions. He'll play with Bledsoe, obviously, too.
Does that young guy get any run anymore? Nicole Alexander Walker?
No.
Okay.
He may at some point, but there's too many. They have 5 guards. They have too many guards. That's the good thing about Hart. He's really not a guard. He's really a small forward. Is the way they use him, which I guess is why he's only small forward eligible. So
one of the sites was talking about this other guy from San Antonio. I didn't even look at it. Trey Smith.
So there's speculative guys on all the other ones for San Antonio are for me very similarly speculative, but that's I wouldn't talk somebody out of it if someone Trey Jones, I think is who you're talking about.
Right.
I wouldn't talk somebody out of Trey Jones. I was thinking about him before. They're going to need to score from somewhere, and Patty Mills is really active as a guy and can shoot his way, but you are relying on shooting still. The guys who make the most sense to me, who can do some things offensively, you got some skills in Lonnie Walker. DeJounte Murray is, he's good. That's not the way he plays exactly, but he can score a little bit, some of it. But Trey Lyles and LMA sort of keep coming up for me as guys who they could. Now, Lyles is usually really bad when LMA plays, but they just don't have. Somebody's going to have to score 30 fantasy points for these guys, other than Aldridge.
Maybe I was wrong. Maybe DeJounte Murray could be someone to play 35 minutes and score 60 fantasy points.
He absolutely could be. He's going to be I think he's the most popular player, though, right?
No, remember I was worried that he's not the selfish kind of guy, that he's going to kind of play within the system and whatever it is. But maybe not.
I'll tell you what, he's definitely been more aggressive offensively this year, and that has me a little bit more hopeful. He really has been attacking. I think he's taking twice as many shots almost as he was before. So I think that he actually does. Look, he's a tough fade for sure. There are other options. He's going to be probably 50+% owned, I would say, somewhere in the low 50s in the high buy-in tournaments, maybe a little higher.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Lonnie Walker will probably be in the high 40s or in the 40s. Patty Mills will probably be somewhere around 50. I have a feeling he might get faded more in some higher buy-in stuff because
the thing is, I don't know how many people in tournaments are really going to play Mills and Murray
together.
or
You think
maybe
they won't play them together or alone?
yeah, I don't think they're necessarily going to play them together.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of Murray Aldridge combinations. And
I think.
and what's his name and Lonnie Walker too. But you think Bobby, think about it this way. So there's all everybody kind of thinks the same way, right? So you have all these guys that are out for San Antonio, and you know that there's usage to go around, there's minutes to go around, but in their head they're like, oh, but I just don't trust them. So what they're going to do is they're going to really overweight the guys that they're sure about, right? Which makes sense, right? So with guys like Dejounte Murray and LaMarcus Aldridge, for example, like are going to just overwhelmingly get owned, right? I mean, because they may do it that way. And then, I think the next guy on that list is probably Lonnie Walker, right? Because people are used to him starting. If they announce him starting, I think he'll probably be the next one. But if they announce that Trey Lyles is starting also 200, he might be really hugely popular too.
I think he'll be popular, but I don't know if he'll be as popular as the other guys. But I do think he'll be very popular, and I think he's expected to start. So I think I think most things you can look at you would expect Trey Lyles to be in the starting lineup tonight. There's an outside chance it could be I guess it could be Podol. They could play double big. Doesn't really make a lot of sense against OKC, but maybe that's a way to get different for them. So maybe they will do that.
Yeah, I have Svi, like you were just saying. Like on paper, I have him in equal play. This is like what's cool about playing GPPs, right? Is that I have papers being an equal play to Tony Snell. But in reality, like there's no chance in the world I'm going to play Tony Snell over. It's
interesting though, because I don't think that they're that different. I mean, well, Svi now they're a little different, but I mean, Snell does have the minutes. Svi has a little bit more usage, but it's not that much.
Not that much more.
I mean, every now and then he has a game and whatnot, but I don't know. I don't know if that's. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Okay.
You know who's going to be completely overlooked, and the guy we've been talking about on every slate is Dennis Smith Jr.
Yeah.
And I know he only played 18 minutes last night. I'm well aware. They were on the front end of a back-to-back. Why can't he play 24 tonight, or even possibly more?
Because I think they're going to do the same thing. I think they're going to start him, and then have it's the exact same thing. They're going to play him 8 minutes, and then what's his name's going to come for the remaining.
But they took their number one option out of the starting lineup. Okay, right. And not only that, their number one option by a long shot. So he'll not only have more of an opportunity to succeed. That's what's happened is that Lee's come in and they've played a little bit better with Lee. They actually played okay with Smith yesterday, but they were better with Lee. There's no reason why these guys can't share the court at some point. I wish they would do that.
You keep mentioning that.
I don't see why not. Dennis Smith Jr. is more naturally a 2 anyway. He's just small.
You know what I would like to know? I'd like to know why, and I am not getting better predictions out of Josh Jackson because it doesn't make sense to me.
Maybe it's not up yet.
No, it is, and I mean he looks like a fine play. I've got him for 30 fantasy points, but in my head, I'm kind of with you. I mean, I kind of feel as though he's I don't know, this whole Josh Jackson the man is kind of silly, right? But he sort of is. No?
Right now, he's got to be, man. Like,
you know what I'm saying? He sort of is.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he put up 60 tonight. I'm not kidding. This is not an exaggeration.
I mean, I think that, and I'm looking.
What's his downside? Go ahead, Sheets.
Same as normal. He tried to do 20 because he sucks.
Stop saying he sucks. Stop with that. Always goes after him too, and it drives me nuts. I feel like you're putting a little hex on you or something. I don't know. This is the most usage opportunity that this guy's had in his entire life. Like, I'm playing Josh Jackson, especially on FanDuel. I think I might just lock him in on FanDuel. I don't love saying lock someone in, but I prefer him over everybody else by so much. The only thing it doesn't allow me to do if I lock him in is we got to see what happens with that Lowry situation. Because if Lowry is in fact out, I'm going to go back to I'm going to have to do some of the Van Vliet thing.
I have another take. It's not like not a huge take or whatever, but I mean, I'm looking at ownership and on two kind of similar type guys, and I don't exactly quite get it. Actually, they're closer than I thought. They are pretty close. But what I was going to say is between Jared Allen and Clint Capella, which I consider, obviously similar plays. I really feel a little more comfortable with Capella than Jared Allen, actually. Just every time I feel as though I want to that somebody just own Houston, you know what I mean? Like Houston's not going to play big because they don't have anybody, right? And Cleveland's on the back-to-back. I don't know what to do with it. I could go either way with it. On the one hand, I could say, well, he can just do whatever he wants against Houston, right? Because they have no bigs. But I don't know. I don't know why I'm kind of into the Capella play a little bit more than the Jared Allen play.
Well, for one, a couple things about the Capella thing. Like, first of all, we just saw him destroy this team. Well, he destroyed him once, but twice he was really good against them twice, and he just destroyed them. They don't have anybody to match up with them. They're one of the worst teams in the league against bigs. Same with Houston, no different really. But we've seen Capella score 80 numbers of times this year, like 75, 80. Guy had 10 blocks. I love Jared Allen. I think he's a great fantasy point producer. I just think that I personally am siding with Capella a little bit over him, but I don't think there's anything wrong with playing Jared Allen.
Yeah.
And he's going back-to-back too, and Capella's not.
There's another San Antonio guy that's I was waiting for him to drop off my projections, but he just hasn't. He's not a guy that shows up on RG. I'm just going to throw it out there, but he does on a couple other places. And I can't imagine like anybody to play him, but just I'll throw it out there. Is the Keita Bates Diop?
Yeah, I think he'll get played if he gets announced starting.
Okay. I don't know if they'll announce him starting.
I think he's projected to start right now.
Oh, is that right?
At least that's what I've got for him. But I don't think that's necessarily a guarantee of any kind.
But nothing like I was saying, like nothing aside from LMA and DeJounte Murray, honestly, is any guarantee over there.
Yep. It's weird how you can like you really can on both sites like force in a lot of very mediocre plays because of this value.
Right.
Very interesting. I'm going to play some Zion on FanDuel for sure. Like, first of all, they don't have anybody to match up with him. Also, I'm running out like 3 and 4 Detroit man stacks. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do some of that. I want to say I love Mikal Bridges on FanDuel, and I actually like both Bridges, but I prefer Mikal on FanDuel.
DeJounte Murray on FanDuel is going to be probably at least 40%. Maybe
we're getting a ton of time. They're saying they can't hear you at all. Sorry, I didn't see all these comments. Yeah,
they can't hear me?
Yeah, they said none of them can hear you.
But you hear me?
Kind of. It's cutting in and out. It's pretty choppy.
It's weird.
On the screen, though, when I watch it on YouTube, your face keeps popping and cutting out.
It's odd.
Weird, huh? We never had that problem with yours. It was me all day that we were worried about. Look at what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I can certainly.
I hear now. Guys, let us know how it is now. I will answer some questions, though, in the meantime. But let us know. Give us.
Yeah, I can certainly relaunch it, but I don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on. Can you hear him if he's choppy? Can you? Is it dealable?
Oswaldo says he can hear me.
He got you. Okay. Yeah, I think let's roll with it. Let's keep going. I do think some of these questions are good questions. Would y'all rather run Booker and PJ Washington or Cat and Trey Lyles for cash? to be completely honest with you, I didn't for 1 second consider Devin Booker tonight in any format. I wouldn't have thought of him at all. So I guess it would probably be the other one, assuming Lyles is in the starting lineup. But I'm actually like, that kind of just threw me, actually. I actually like it's weird to have a guy you just don't even think about today. It's not like a bad matchup exactly. It's just there's just other guys I like better. Jaylen Brown and Tatum in the same lineup, absolutely no problem with it whatsoever, at all. Actually, my first build had that. Let's see. So Tatum and we already got that one. Favorite center on FanDuel. I'm sort of going back and forth between the guys me and Cheats were just talking about. Cheats, is there another center you're looking at on FanDuel besides Capella and Allen that you like?
Yes.
I mean, Towns is the other one.
Yes.
Sorry,
I was going to say that I like Towns a decent amount.
Okay. I can get behind that. I also like Turner, by the way. This is a really good spot for Turner. Huh.
But I like Towns and Capella both more than Allen at higher ownership for Allen.
You like Towns? Wait, sorry, say that one more time, Cheats.
Prefer to take lower owned either Towns or Capella, I think,
Okay.
over or what's face, yeah. So like right now, like for example, like this is a build like right now. I'm only gonna probably play 5 lineups on FanDuel tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like a build that's very I mean I consider this extremely safe, right? I don't know if it could possibly win anything, but like so this one, like for example, so it's got DeJounte Murray and Mills. It's got 4 Spurs. It's got Aldridge and Lyles. It actually does have a run back with Shea. It's got Josh Jackson, who I think is kind of a lock. Then LeBron, Jared Allen, right? I can't really argue with much of anything. And now what I have to do is.
We talked about this the other day, though. Jaylen Brown, boy, I was so surprised when he was. I know he'll have more ownership today, obviously, because we have no Kemba, but he was 2% owned on a small slate the other day, and I was like, whoa! I was pretty excited about that. But yeah, I like the lineup. I'm trying to think about where you're different at.
That's the problem, right?
It's a little tough.
That's why I wanted to start by doing stuff that doesn't correlation issues. Like first, like get off of maybe Jared Allen, and I could probably get off of like it. But isn't Jaylen Brown? Is he going to be chalk? I don't think he's going to be chalky at all. Saying.
Yeah, I don't think Jaylen Brown is going to be. I don't think he's going to be like. I think it'd be 20%. Maybe, yeah, probably around there. So I mean, still a little time before we know who's officially going to play or not. But
I'll ask you. So, who do you think my top 2 point per dollar, small forwards are on FanDuel?
By the way, John Collins is playing. Your top point per dollar small forwards on FanDuel. I can tell you that. Give me that 1 second. Yeah, I'm guessing Jaylen is not one of them because he doesn't seem like the point per dollar. He'd be the point per dollar winner, obviously. I mean, look, you could like my guy Josh Hart.
He almost got there. Yep, he's second.
Don't tell me Justin Holiday, please. Don't tell me that.
No, but it's you're in the right ball game.
McDermott.
Yeah.
McDermott, and then my guess would be Temple.
McDermott and Hart. Those are the 2.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be Temple. Was going to be the other one. Yeah, that's pretty nasty. I would just prefer playing Mikal Bridges at no ownership at 5,500 in a good matchup against his brother. That's
what I was thinking of. What I was thinking of, like for example,
it's DK too. By the way, is another one I love. Sorry, go ahead, Cheats.
I was thinking of, like, for example, going up to Towns at center and then scaling back, that Jaylen Brown to somebody small forward. Maybe that could be something to do. Yeah. But what would be really neat is if I were going to play Karl Anthony Towns, overpay for Levine, maybe.
I like that.
You know. So instead of using Shea as like a run back for against those clowns, we can overpay for this, and then we can almost make this whole thing work.
Can I ask one thing about the public out there? Why are people going to play so much? And I love Darius Garland in general, but why are they so in love with him tonight? I feel like I missed something. He's getting projected. Everywhere I look, he's got projected ownership, and I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, you've got Mike Conley at 300 cheaper. You've got Kobe White at 200 cheaper on FanDuel. On DraftKings, it's not like he's like cheap. I don't know. I don't really get the love for it. Maybe it's just fitting certain builds.
Aldridge.
I'm still waiting on my lineup, so I'm gonna answer some more questions, guys, if you guys have any, because I think we need to know a bunch of things in that 7:30 Eastern game before I decide, or the 7:30 Eastern games, I should say. By the way, Boban almost got it there last night, Sheets.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah. He had like a bunch in I don't remember how many minutes he ended up playing in the first half, but it was looking good for a minute. Okay, so
it's so hard to fade DeJounte Murray.
Let's see when I'm not playing him on FanDuel, I'm playing Trae Young and Dennis Smith Jr. I know it's crazy, the Dennis Smith Jr. thing, guys. It's crazy, but he's gonna make me all the money one of these days. If he goes off when no one else is gonna play him, that'll be my dream, because I will always have some of him in these spots. Is Sekou Doumbouya in play? Yes, he is in play on DraftKings. Assuming he's starting. Let's see if he's starting first. Kobe White or over Levine today. Those are not really 1v1s. Don't see any reason why you would. Just to be completely honest about the Kobe White versus Levine thing, unless I'm missing something about this matchup, I don't really know why that would be. This is actually probably a better matchup for Levine than the other one, and I don't know. Kobe White's cheaper on FanDuel, I guess, but I don't know how you measure one versus the other because they're different. But I think Levine is a phenomenal play, and I think Kobe White's a good play. I really don't understand when people say, I don't feel like it's a Levine night or game, because he just does the same thing every single time. Like, it doesn't matter who he's playing against. Doesn't matter the matchup. He's going to go out there, and this year he's incredibly efficient. It's kind of weird.
Back to Shea over there. We don't have to do that.
All right, let's see. Pop a few more questions in. Is the Saban Lee for real? I mean, what are we? No, you're not. You can play Saban Lee. It's not like a bad play. I do think there's probably more variance than everybody else seems to think, that he's like he's going to automatically play all these minutes every game. I don't know that he'll play 30 minutes every game, or 29 or whatever it was. He was incredibly efficient, but I mean, what can you say? He's played well. 2 great matchups. Now he's got a little bit of a worse matchup. I still think he's a great play. I'm surprised. I would bet you his projected ownership is way off. I think it seems way low to me.
Who's
Saban Lee
on DraftKings?
Yeah. No, the Spurs starters. Okay. Murray, Walker. So the only one that's surprising. Oh my God, they're not starting Aldridge. Okay, Spurs, you win. Don't even know what to do with this. Guys, I'm not going to answer any Spurs questions until I look at some projections and figure out some stuff and do a quick deep dive on Samanic.
What, Samanic is starting?
Yeah, and Aldridge is not.
Why would Aldridge start?
He starts every game.
I'm kidding.
Yes.
No, so Bates Diop's not starting?
No.
Yeah, that's the big surprise in the starting lineup is the Kate Spitz Diop is not starting.
No, the big surprise is I can't tell if you're serious. I can't look at you while I'm trying to do my things. All right. Samanic. I don't know enough about him.
He'll play probably 14 minutes, right? That's what's going to happen.
They have enough bodies to do that to us. This actually makes it more like a bluff. And they said no minute restriction on LaMarcus.
No minutes restriction except when he gets in the game.
I mean, what does this mean? Okay, I don't know. Guys, ask any non-Spurs related questions. I can't answer anything. Oh, TJ McConnell and DK, not the slate for it for me. Thanks, but Eric, that's well phrased. Like that is exactly right. He's fine in its face, but I don't think it's the right slate for it. Spurs starters, yeah, dude, that's a rough one. We're gonna need a minute. Unfortunately, we got plenty of time, as Sheets would say. Sheets is gonna have to go, but we don't have to go. Wow, this is definitely weird. I mean, the thing is, Eubanks, Aldridge, Podol, Lyle, like they have a lot of big guys. They don't have a lot of guards and forwards, so maybe they can use Simonic maybe a little bit more like a 3, I guess, is the thinking. And then you always want Patty Mills off the bench. That's not surprising. He never starts. I think Trey Jones is kind of interesting, actually. Wow, I'm gonna have to relook at this game because I don't know what to do with that starting lineup.
Wait, so I'm sorry. Can you just repeat the starting lineup one more time?
Murray, Walker, Simonic, Lyles, Podol. Looking at Simonic's Australian stats, tell you what, he scored. He took a lot of threes. He didn't make a lot of them, or took a number of threes. Didn't make very many. 30, not even 31%. Appears to be a good rebounder. The rebounds per minute are nice. Shot attempts are nice. It's just seems to like to shoot the 3 but not be able to.
It's not a good combination.
I mean, maybe look, the Spurs have the best 3-point shooting coach in the history of basketball. He's like a coveted piece of the NBA. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. They talk about this all the time on the podcast, and maybe he's working.
Who are you talking about?
No, they have the specific 3-point shooting coach. They've converted like every guy who couldn't shoot into a great 3-point shooter. Favorite game stack is actually kind of sucks. It's the first game you'll see on your thing. It's going to be Boston and Atlanta for me. San Antonio and OKC makes a lot of sense because of the injuries, obviously. And other than that, I don't really love a game stack. The Golden State, Indiana, the players are sort of priced out of it. You know what? Detroit and New Orleans. But the thing is, I'm just so worried New Orleans beats the hell out of them. But I think that if they don't, you could see Detroit kind of blow up here. And I don't think people are maybe going to own these guys as much as they should outside of Saban Lee. Like, if you can get the Detroit thing right, they're going to smash. I mean, so is a couple of the guys from – I think your base would be like you want to try to find a way, especially on FanDuel, probably to play 2 of each. But you could probably get away with just one of either side. But I do really like the Jackson over there, Saban Lee on DraftKings. I think Demboya is in play on DraftKings. Sadiq Bey I like on FanDuel and DraftKings, but a little better on FanDuel. Actually, I think Plumlee's in play on DraftKings, but I'd probably stay away from it myself.
Who are we saying? Oh, okay.
We don't even know about Steven Adams yet tonight, by the way. God. Because I think Hernan Gomez would trump all this other stuff. In fact, Hernan Gomez is probably in play anyway.
Think so?
I mean, if we're playing the blowout run, I'm probably not going to do it on this slate. Don't get me wrong, but it's just play the blowout run, you know. I don't know. It's up in the air with him. They didn't play him quite as many minutes the last couple as I thought they were going to. I know they did get smashed though, so it's in one of those. I mean, he's put his last his 3 game sheets.
Yeah.
In all less than 30 minutes that he got to play. Actually, one of them, what's his name, started even, but he got hurt. Adams. He had 17 rebounds, 13 rebounds, and 13 rebounds, and he's getting like near a rebound a minute. Like, this guy's incredible. Just get that double and you're there. And you know what I hated? You know what? I'm sorry. I'm gonna give shit for 1 second. I hated hearing Big T and everybody else's victory lap on Hernan Gomez the night where Steven Adams was starting and Hernan Gomez came off the bench. I'm sorry, when Adams got hurt. Nobody knew Adams he was going to play 29 minutes. That was not going to happen. He hasn't even done that since then as a starter. It was ridiculous to take a victory lap because another guy gets injured. It just didn't make any sense to me. I hate that kind of victory lap personally. Anyway.
What about and we're still waiting to hear for Toronto, right?
Yeah, Toronto. Yeah. Oh, Kyle Lowry in. There you go. It sort of makes us just sort of stay away, I think.
I think that's accurate.
I actually don't think Kyle Lowry is the worst play, but it's just not the right slate for it, in my opinion. Boy, there's going to be a lot of chalk to be played on a big slate, though. I still really like Mike Conley tonight, guys. Don't overlook this.
Conley?
Yeah, he gets his non-All-Star revenge or whatever, the All-Star, whatever along the All-Star game. The guy's never made an All-Star.
The All-Star snub?
Yeah, but he's not. I don't even know if that's official exactly because they could always, he could always end up getting in with somebody out. But he never is. He's like the best player to never make the All-Star game, and they love him there. And if they get it rolling, I don't know. I could see him trying to get it going. He's also really cheap. Yeah, 7,100 is a nice price for Lowry, no doubt, but it just doesn't seem like the right slate to do it. Like, it's not like there's like another 1v1 that you're comparing, but how do you end up at 7,100, and then why are you trying to prioritize a 7,100 Kyle Lowry coming off of an injury? For me, it doesn't work. You could use him as a pivot off DeJounte Murray. I guess that's an argument. There you go. There's one thing you could do just to get different in one lineup. Put Kyle Lowry in instead of DeJounte Murray.
So Dragic is in, but Hero is out.
Yeah.
What do you think about a lowish owned Jimmy Butler?
I think that reason we like Jimmy Butler just got canceled, or a big part of it.
Why?
Because Dragic is the point guard. We've been getting point Jimmy the whole time. He's no longer the point guard. So he could still go off like he's been doing a lot of games. A good matchup in general. He'll still get plenty of time. We're not going to get all the minutes from Dragic anyway, so you could argue it's okay. But I just don't know. The thing is, you can really easily get to him tonight. So I guess to answer that, let's try and look at everybody in his price range. Because am I playing Jimmy Butler over Zach LaVine? No, probably. Over Karl Anthony Towns? Probably not. Definitely not even close to Jason Tatum, in my opinion. I would have him just ahead of Bam, but I think it's close. I'd have him ahead of LaMelo. I'd have him right with even maybe a little bit less than Zion. I would have him a little bit less than Jaylen Brown, who's a little cheaper, and I'd have him a lot less than Steph Curry, Trae Young, obviously Sabonis and LeBron. Who I'm not really. I actually think this is a spot where you could try to get the LeBron max game now. I thought he was going to be popular earlier in the day. I don't think it's going to go that way, even with all the value. It is. I mean, the narrative's there. The problem is, I think that going into this game, that they're just not. They could be in real trouble in this game. They might not They might get crushed. As a Laker fan,
I think.
All right, guys. Any more questions? And then I'm going to start doing my lines probably around once Sheets gets out of here.
Boy, it's hard not to play.
Why did everything sell out so early today?
It's hard to not play DeJounte Murray on FanDuel, but I'm doing it with one of my lineups. I'm gonna be go all the way up to Trae Young, maybe.
Yeah, I have like 50% Murray right now, which I'll probably lessen. It's hard though. It doesn't feel good. All right, here are some questions. Let's see. LeBron for the hammer. Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, I like LeBron is definitely in play. Oh yeah, hit the likes. Thanks, man. Thanks, MJ. I appreciate that. I think you reminded him.
Hey, you know what you guys can do? I don't know whether you're on. I presume they're on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
If you haven't done it already, I mean, you probably should. Most people already do it.
Yeah.
But do the subscribe thing.
Yeah, I think that most of these people probably do, but yeah, please subscribe.
I mean, it's not like cost anything to subscribe. Maybe that's what people just sometimes just don't do it. They think it's cost something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I wonder if people do. I thought that when I first when the first YouTube accounts were going. Can you guys talk about the Bulls a bit, please? What do you want to talk about? It's a good matchup. I like LaVine. I like Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams, honestly, on FanDuel is more of a priority for me than LaVine is. I just like the price, and there's not a whole lot I like at power forward over there as much. Wendell Carter, I feel like, is a solid. I actually feel like Wendell Carter is probably a better play than we've given him credit for. Sheets mentioned him quite a few times earlier, but I like him fine. The Temple thing doesn't make any sense to me to do it on this slate. I
want to get a redo of the projections, but I remember earlier I liked Thomas Satoransky, so
yeah.
I want to.
I don't think anybody's. I don't think there's any way that playing. Look, somebody could get injured. Something could happen, but I can't see Thomas Satoransky on this slate being a right kind of a play. We have all of this value, and if you're going to cram him in there with that value, you can't. You actually can't even. You have to give up on one of the other. You have to give up Lonnie Walker, Patty Mills, Saban Lee, and I mean that's all your guards right there. And then you can use Satoransky in the utility instead of some of the other value. Not for me.
Okay,
that's just my personal take. I don't. But I mean, look, he's going to probably get 5x at 4,100. That's about where I see him. I think you'd be better off with like. If you're going to make that weird kind of a play, to probably pick a different position than a point guard, and probably take a shot with a guy like maybe Jaden McDaniels or something. His minutes.
That's interesting.
I don't love it. I'm just throwing out like a guy. He's 3,500. He's playing similar minutes. I mean, he's put up 20 in 2 of his last 4. I mean, 21 and 24. Not ideal, but it's just throwing out. We have Demboya, who is minimum going to play minutes. We have Tony Snell, who Sheets mentioned. I don't love these guys so much. I just don't know, I don't know. There's plenty of opportunity for value, to say the least. Also, one thing that nobody's talking about like today at all, what if Aaron Baines plays minutes again? He just played 30 minutes in back-to-back games against in the toughest matchup, partially because of the matchup. Now he's got Bam Adebayo, though. They're not going to let Boucher just get beaten to death right there. And no one's talking. Like, it's just he's in play. All right. Snubs and scrubs. Yeah, I like it. I like the snubs and scrubs thing. Why is Booker replacing Davis a narrative though? Usually, like the guy who gets in his All-Star game when he makes the All-Star game every year, I don't think, and maybe he doesn't even deserve it. I don't know if that's a time to go off. I mean, do we play Chris Paul because he's an All-Star? There's just a lot of guys. I like the snubs idea better. So Jeff Teague is starting for Boston.
Okay.
I've been waiting for Boston to. Now, I don't think they did it their last times out. I want to double check because. Yeah, we didn't even he wasn't even projected today initially. So I think Jeff Teague actually might be a better play than a lot of the other guys. Let me just see where he is. I want to take a look because Boston needs to change things. Everybody fell in love with that Pritchard kid and then all these other guys. Boston's been probably the second most disappointing team in the NBA this year. So it's time to change it up. And this is a great matchup, and it's Jeff Teague versus former team in Atlanta. All right, I'm in on Teague. Before I even see the minutes projection, I just want to make sure I get some Teague for sure. Yeah, good luck. But don't forget, guys, the lineups don't lock for 30 minutes. Favorite New Orleans run back with the Detroit guys. Favorite New Orleans run back. I don't love running it back. On FanDuel, it's better. I think. Well, Josh Hart and Zion on FanDuel. That's what I would say. Let's see. Lyles. Let's see. Yeah, Lyles is starting. All right, guys, pop in any more questions. I've got 4 more to answer. Then I've got to build some lineups. That's going to be kind of boring because I can't have anybody else to talk to, which means I probably will cut the show a little bit short. So make sure to get any last-minute questions in while you can. Otherwise, I will find you guys in Discord.
Yeah, everybody go to the Discord. That's
Yeah, that'll get you so we don't have to leave your computer on. Makes sense. All right.
Oh my God.
What do you got?
Oh, nothing. Just literally nothing.
All right. I'm going to give them a minute to just see if they have any questions, and then I'm going to jump over here. Demboya and Lyles I would have very, very close, by the way. I actually kind of like Lyles, though, a little bit. Ugh, hate these guys. I feel like Lyles has become so much worse and so much more one-dimensional every year. We've got a bunch of guys who literally have never gotten there as like the chalk here tonight. Great.
All right, I'm gonna close this up. You guys go into Discord if you want to get any more info. And sorry for all that. And I will. Somebody will see you tomorrow.
Yeah, good luck, everybody. I don't know if I'm going to see you tomorrow. I'll work on my internet thing. I'm trying to get it stabilized here. So.
All right, sounds good, guys.
Good luck to everybody. Good luck, Sheets.